Hello. Oh, how are you all doing? So today we're creating this bronze goddess makeup look. Super monochromatic. We've used all neutral nude tones, and you can of course see it's a brown smoky eye. No shimmers, all matte, and I really love it. Let's quickly get into it and start creating this beautiful makeup look. Alright, let's get started, shall we? My skin is feeling extremely dry. So to begin with, I'm going to start with the Bioma face mist. It's a really refreshing face mist just to get some hydration back into the skin, and to lock all that in, I'm going to follow it up with the barrier repair treatment and just a few pumps, about this much. Going to massage it and into the skin it goes. Also make sure that I put it around my under eyes because those have been feeling extra dry. And now we need some lip balm because the lips are like Sahara desert dry. I'm using the Laneige Lip Glowy Balm. You can of course use any lip balm. Loading up on the lip balm because by the time we come on to the lips, it'll all be super hydrated and moisturized. And lastly, because my under eyes have been overly dry, I'm going to use this Pixie Restore and Replenish eye patches. I just received them in the mail the other day, and I think this is going to be the perfect time to use it. Let's open this one. Okay, so we have the eye patches, a new pack. Wow, these are really yummy. I'm just going to scoop out. This is how I am going to apply this. There we go. Put it on the other eye as well. So by the time we're done with the eye makeup, the under eyes will be really nicely prepped. This is a really great way to make sure that the under eyes are very nicely prepped. I really hope these don't slide here and there because that's very irritating, honestly. And I had another box of this one, and I actually stopped using them only and only because of this reason. And these already seem to be sliding around. If that happens, I'll be really upset about it. It's just too chaotic around here. See, they're already sliding. Okay, anyways, so I have this new brush set by Jessup Beauty, Jessup Makeup Lover Collection. This is kind of a dupe for all the Makeup by Mario brushes, and it's a whole set. It has 14 in 10 duo end brushes, and it's a versatility collection. I'm just opening this up. Today we're going to use all of these to see, because I have been hearing a lot of rage about Jessup Beauty brushes. I am going to be so pissed at this, and I'm just going to throw it off and be done with it in a while. Okay, so it seems to have quite a lot of brushes, and look at that. So it has eye brushes, it has face brushes, all of that. And I've heard a lot of great reviews, and these are like dupes for super expensive ones by Makeup by Mario. I have their concealer brush. It's dirty somewhere, but I've used it, and this one is kind of very similar to the quality, so I can totally relate to the quality in that sense. Let's quickly open all these babies up. The quality is really nice. The bristles are super soft. We'll also get to see how it actually performs, and that's going to be exciting. Really nice quality. Look at this. This comes in like a hard case. That is so nice. But I don't understand why only one brush comes in that hard case. So I have another one by Makeup by Mario, the original one. This is the EF1. These definitely are not the same. Let's see if there's actually one that is similar to the original EF1. And it doesn't really seem that way. Nope. This brush the original EF1 is not there. The dupe of it is not there in that set. And I think there are quite a few brushes missing as well, but too much about the set. Let's actually get into the tutorial now. What we are gonna do is use a pencil liner. This one is by Makeup by Michelle, I guess, and made by Michelle. It's in the shade Make a Toast. I'm just going to quickly line it very close to the lash line. It's a little darker. So we are just going to apply it very roughly because anyway we're going to blend it. And now I take that same brush and I smudge it around just the edges, basically, to make sure we do not have any harsh edges. And I'm just going to lightly, very lightly buff it outwards, as we always do. I'm now going to take the blending side. I hope you guys can see clearly. There we go. We pretty much have like a base laid out. I'm going to do the same on the other eye. Alrighty, so now that we have like a cream base laid out, what this is going to do is it's going to help grab the powder shadows really well, and that is going to give us the intensity that we want. These really need to go off because they're distracting me like crazy. Yes, I wish they were a little better quality. Let's just quickly massage. So now I have Patrick Ta eyeshadow palette. I have the third. This is what it looks like. And we also have the first one, which too has a lot of beautiful brown chocolatey shades, and that is what we're going to use. I'm going to start with the first palette and this shade right here, and stamp it all over the lid pretty much. Start by tapping it really close to the lash line, and again lightly, very lightly, I'm going to flick it outwards or intensify it towards the crease. So the brushes are performing really well. So I don't see any issue. So there we have a little bit of depth, and now we're going to transition it from the darkest to the lightest. तो अब मैं लेने वाली हूँ this shade, this one, from the third palette. It is called Needed, this shade. Now we're going to use this majorly crease से थोड़ा ऊपर as a transition shade. So I do not like the inner part to be very dark, तो उसको हम अभी थोड़ा लाइट करेंगे. Now similarly on the other eye, ऐसे स्टैम्प करने के बाद we will move into the windshield wiping motions, because अगर आप initially ही ये wiper motions use करते हो तो it can sometimes be very patchy, and that becomes a little difficult to blend. Alright, so now I'm just going to take another brush. I'm taking a bigger fluffy brush and a lighter shade. This one is called Crucial, and it's from the third palette. Dusting off the excess and basically focusing this one on the inner part of the eye and blending out any harsh edges. Because there is already a powder shadow underneath this particular shade, we can directly move into the windshield wiper motions, because जो हमने वो cream base लगाया था वो एक बार already set हो चुका है with powder, and now when we go in with that wiper motion directly, it will not really disrupt the base and become patchy. Look at that. Again, winging it out. Okay, so now at this point it really looks very monotonous to me. So now we're going to create depth towards the lash line, and it is a really nice way to bring some depth and some drama. So I am going to use a smaller brush. So now again dipping back into the first palette and the darkest shade in the palette, the darkest matte, it is this one. And this one is called it's called Transition. Now we're going to press this very close to the lash line to create that smokiness. There we go. ठीक है जी. Same on the other side. Whatever is left in the brush kind of goes a little higher to merge into the first few shades. The trick to a smoky eye is always layering. You kind of start with the darkest shade, blend it towards the lightest, and then come back and reinforce the darker shades to bring in that smokiness. And this is how you actually build a smoky eye, whether it's brown, whether it's green, whatever the shade, but that is what the technique is. Making sure there is no harsh line. जैसे अभी मुझे यहाँ पर थोड़ी सी harshness दिख रही है, so I'm kind of going back in but flipping the brush to the side जहाँ पे मैंने eyeshadow नहीं लिया था, and there I'm going to blend. Now we will go back in with the first shade that we took, and it was from the first palette only, and this one is called Absolutely. And now we are going to again blend out the edges of this darkest shade. Layering is the key. Do not forget that. So now this is what the blend looks like. Now again I'm going to go in with a shade lighter, winging it out, and this is Smoking it really nicely. This particular shade is exactly what was missing. अब देखो मैं किस तरीके से इसे bring out कर रही हूँ. That's it. I'm not putting in any pressure. It's just the bristles that are doing all the work for me. And of course we'll clean it underneath and we'll be very good to go. Now the last shade is the lightest shade that we took, is this one. It's the same shade that we took earlier, not any new shade. Using it towards the inner corner to open up the eye really nicely, or ऐसे top पे भी to get rid of any harsh edges. Similarly on the other eye. And now comes the moment when we add some black to the lash line. So we have this black shadow in the third palette, and I'm going to take a very small brush like this one, and pick it up on the tip of the brush like this. Can you see that? Like this. And once we've done that, I'm going to stamp it really close to the lash line. How pigmented is that shadow? I think before we go into the black shadow, we should add some gel liner to give it some more intensity. I have my Inglot 77 here. I'm taking this angular brush from the set. बहुत थोड़ा सा liner लेंगे, cover it up, and now when we add the eyeshadow on top, it would be nicely pigmented. Here we go. Now blending it a little upward to make sure again they're blending into each other like a gradient. सिर्फ ऐसे ऐसे टैप करना है. एक बार और फिर से वही ब्राउन शेड लेंगे जो हमने सबसे डार्केस्ट ब्राउन लिया था, to make sure these two are blending into each other really nicely. बहुत थोड़ा सा, और बस इसको ऐसे ऐसे टैप करेंगे right on the edge. अगर आपको लगता है कि ब्लैक थोड़ा सा लाइटन हो गया है इस स्टेप से, we will again go in with the black. All about layering, guys. Whatever is left, edges को blend कर देंगे. And now we'll quickly repeat this on the other eye and we'll be right back. Alright, so this is what the eyeshadow looks like. We'll of course be cleaning all of this up, but I am very confused whether or not to use falsies or just stick with mascara. So let's actually put on the mascara first and then kind of decide if we need lashes, if we need falsies. So I'm using the L'Oreal Panorama mascara and loads of mascara if you're not using lashes. जितना mascara को हम root से लगाएंगे ना, that will give us more length, more volume, and it will also stay longer. So that's one coat. it's very negligible. But if I have to skip falsies, I would need loads of volume. So I want to try out the Lancome Hypnose Drama. I've never tried it out, but I've heard so many great things about this mascara. So let's actually put this one to the test on top of this. I really like the wand. It's very different. It's still more lengthening than volumizing for me. So you could leave it here, but मुझे उतना अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. I definitely need falsies with this. So I am going to put those on and then be right back. Alright, so now we're done with the eyeshadow. We're just going to clean this up. कैसे clean करेंगे? I'm just going to take a cotton pad and some micellar water. I'm using the Garnier pink one, and थोड़ा सा micellar water लेंगे and fold it like this because this one is way too huge. वैसे तो this particular eyeshadow palette has hardly given me any fallout, but हम फिर भी clean करेंगे to make sure. And there we have it. The eyeshadow is all done. We'll move on to the base now. Now we're going to prime the skin. I want that hydrated, dewy, glowy base, and therefore I'm just going to start with the Refy Glow and Sculpt primer. I don't know if it really does something about sculpting though. Just massage it into the skin. Now I want to fill the pores towards the center of the face. I'm using the Dior Backstage. I'm just going to focus this one towards the center of the face. थोड़ा सा अंडर आइज पे भी लगाऊंगी क्योंकि ये हाइड्रेट भी करता है और pores और fine lines को भी fill करता है. So I really like this primer. I don't know why I've not been using it as often as I did. Whenever you apply your primers, please wait for a few minutes, at least 2 to 3 minutes, so that they can really get absorbed into the skin, and then you move on with your foundation and all, so that it does not pill, it does not look cakey, it blends really well. So these kind of tips really make a difference. Okay, so the primers are all absorbed in. Now we are going to color correct. Now this is a really important step, especially if you're using darker eyeshadow colors like this, because darker eyeshadows can tend to bring out the darkness underneath your eyes. ही खुद ही difference देख पा रहे होगे from the time we started the video until now. The darkness looks way more prominent, and to make sure that you neutralize it, you have to use a color corrector. I'm using the Huda Beauty Mango color corrector. It's the 4 filter in the shade Mango, and that's it. We don't want to drag the color corrector too low because usse pura face orange dikh sakta hai. Now it's time for the foundation, and I'm using one of my favorites foundations of all time. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. बहुत time बाद मैं इसे use कर रही हूँ, but I know we're going to get such an amazing result. Just shake it really well before you use it. Now I'm going to take about 2 pumps on the back of my hand like this, and I'm going to dot it all over my face. With foundations that are more full coverage and more mattifying, more, you know, drying down sooner, I always like to work in sections. अब आपने देखा कि मैंने half of the face पर dot down किया है foundation to make sure that it does not dry down before I'm actually able to blend it, and this will really help especially beginners. एक तो इससे ये बिल्कुल भी patchy नहीं लगेगा. It's going to look very smooth. You can already see. Now again dotting it on this side. Whatever is left on the brush, I'm going to drag it down to my neck. And now comes the forehead. Now because मुझे already पता है कि मैं यहाँ पर bronzer लगाने वाली हूँ, I'm not taking my foundation all the way to the hairline, and whatever is left, I'm going to take it onto my brush and see if there's any area I want more coverage, and just stipple it around. And we're done with the foundation as well. I'm using the House Labs concealer in the shade 30. This is medium peach. I'm applying this darker shade to make sure that the color corrector is very well covered. It is not peeking through. In case there is any more darkness left, it is going to be covered with this, because this is like pretty much the exact skin tone. I want to cover this. What else? Thoda sa around the nose, and we're done. Now we'll start blending this out. I am going to use a fluffier brush. How beautifully has it covered up the acne mark. I like to blend the under eyes the last, so that tab tak, it can kind of bake and give us the maximum coverage. Look at that difference. And there we have an absolutely even base. So now moving on to contour, bronzing, blush, all that goodness. I am going to start with bronzing. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. This is in the shade medium deep. You must do that. Very satisfying. Blend it towards the hairline. Keep patting it until it almost disappears. But don't over blend it as well, because कई बार हम लोग बहुत ज़्यादा over blend कर देते हैं, and then the purpose of the contour in total only is defeated. Look at this side with so much warmth, and this side is yet to be. Now I am going to take my foundation brush and lightly dab it all over the areas I have applied my contour. Even I am kind of about to over blend now, and then it will just not show up and just doesn't make sense. For my blush, I'm really excited. I am using the Rhode Peptide Pocket Blush in the shade Sleepy Girl. These are really pretty blushes. Really pretty. And I'm going to take this side of the brush and blend it. So pretty. And there we have the blush and the bronzer, the cream part all done. Now I'm going to use another concealer that's more brightening for me, and this is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Concealer. I have heard some really good things about it, and I've used it like once and twice, and I love it. It's beautiful. We forgot to contour the nose. So using your brightening concealer after you've used your blush and everything, it really makes a difference. Why? Because uske baad na, it just seamlessly melts into each other, and that is exactly what we want, right? So we're going to start from here. Wow, look at that definition on this side. अभी क्योंकि हम एक ये स्टार्क लाइन देख सकते हैं, तो अब हम क्या करेंगे, पहले तो जो फर्स्ट कंसीलर ब्रश था, मैं उससे लाइटली ना इसके एजेस को ब्लेंड कर दूँगी. ठीक है, थोड़ा बेटर हो गया. अब क्या करेंगे, ब्लश ब्रश लेंगे एंड जो भी इसमें बचा हुआ होगा लाइटली उसके ऊपर टैप करेंगे, तो वो बहुत सीमलेसली ब्लश के साथ ब्लेंड हो जाएगा. ये देखिए, इट्स लाइक अ ग्रेडियंट, लाइट पिंक and then the contour, and that is exactly how it should be. It is now time to set the face. And which powder do we have for it today? We have the Chanel. Alrighty, there we go. So now we're going to blend the concealer again. Of course, you know the drill by now. एक eyeshadow blending brush लेने वाली हूँ. But before that, I'm going to load up my powder puff. Okay, like this. Even it out like this. Now take my blending brush, get rid of, just feather it basically to get rid of any creasing, and then we press. Repeat the process on the other side. Similarly for the forehead as well, make sure you are not creasing on the forehead, and then we press. Whatever is left kind of goes everywhere. I'm not taking any more powder, and we're done with powdering the face. Why have we applied so much powder? To make sure it is all locked in and the makeup is not going anywhere for hours altogether. Now we need some setting spray. I have my holy grail, Charlotte Tilbury, and there we go. It's all going to be melting together. Let it dry completely before you move ahead. And there we go. The powders are all melted in together, and now we'll go in with the powder blush, powder bronzer, powder highlighter as well. I'm really excited about that. Okay, so I have been wanting to do a nude blush. So this is one option. This is the Fire Moon by House Labs. Then we have Not Too Much by Patrick Tar. I've never used this one as well. Look at that gorgeousness. Will it even show up? Let's check it out. So I'm going to use this. It has a little bit of shimmer as well. Wow, it looks so pretty and so natural, of course. I think brown eyeshadow ke saath, जैसा मैंने सोचा था, that I wanted to be a little more monochromatic rather than going for a pink or a peach blush. I think I really like it. Now for the bronzer, we're going to use the Gucci bronzer. I think I'm probably feeling fancy today. Okay, so now we're almost done with the base. I want to lightly bronze up my nose. बहुत थोड़ी सी definition. Eyeshadow को मुझे थोड़ा सा और smoke out करना है because हम smoky चाहते थे. It's very harsh and angular. So I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and kind of lightly buff it around. It's time to do the lower lashes. I'm going to start with the black kajal. Okay, whenever you're struggling, because my eyes are really watery, I haven't slept the whole night. So what I like to do is, I like to look like this. Automatically जो आप lower lash line होता है वो expose होता है, and then it's much easier to apply. जिस पे हमने black eyeshadow लिया था उसी से ही इसको buff out कर रही हूँ. Okay, now using the same eyeshadows, dust off the excess. Okay, and now we'll take one more shadow to blend out all of this. We need some more kajal. Now we want to put on the mascara on the bottom lashes. Let's do panorama only because it has a very thin wand. It'll be easier. What do we think? It looks really nice. Let's move on to the lips because I'm really excited to show you this lip combo. You're going to absolutely love me for this. It's so good. We're going to start with the Fenty Beauty pencil lip liner in the shade Extra Thigh. Look at that beautiful color. It's going to go so nicely with the eye look. Okay, now I'm going to take a brush and blend out the edges. Okay, now that we are here, I'm going to use another lip liner. This is the Makeup Forever Anywhere Caffeine. This is the newest Artist Color Pencil Extreme. Beautiful formula. This kind of goes towards the middle. Okay, blend again. Now comes the star of the show, the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb Stick in the shade Tulip Kiss. Beautiful formula. Tell me it doesn't look beautiful with this eye look. और अब हम क्या करेंगे, इसके edges को clean करेंगे. I'm just going to take a very flat brush, and this little step makes a huge difference. I've not taken any product on this. It's just the brush doing all the cleaning work, and that is pretty much it. We need some highlighter though. I'm using the Dior palette. This is the Dior Backstage Glow Face palette in the shade Rose Gold. Look at that. तो पता है क्या करने वाली हूँ? I'm just going to mix all the shades because I'm feeling fancy. Like that. पता नहीं क्या shade बनेगा, but I'm sure बहुत अच्छा लगेगा. This is the final look. I kind of really like it. Such a universal look. I think any Indian outfit and you can adorn this kind of a smoky eye or with a bindi. So feminine yet so bold and powerful. I really love it. I really like the jewelry with this V-neck as well. Let me know in the comments how you like it, and if you actually got some wonderful tips from this video and you could learn something out of it. It would really mean a lot to me. I think that is all that I aim at. I will see you guys in my next one, and until then, please enjoy the festive season and Have so much fun and take care of yourselves.